Hello guys, so today we're going to continue working with unit number 4 called Daily Life. I am going to ask you to please open your book in page number 40, exercise 1, vocabulary. Okay, as you can see here we have the days of the week and routines. So this is what we are going to do. I am going to read the phrases out loud, this so that you can check the way they are pronounced, and then if you can at home, please try to pronounce them yourself so that we can make sure that we are all saying them the correct way. Okay, so we're going to start in letter A, which is the week. We have weekdays and we have the weekend. So in the weekdays, we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And in the weekend, we have Saturday and Sunday. Okay? Perfect. Now in letter B, we have routines. We have get up, drink coffee, eat breakfast, read the news, go to school, exercise, cook dinner, study, watch TV, and go to bed. Okay, so if you remember last Saturday, we actually were talking about present simple. And we said that present simple is used when we want to talk about habits or things that we repeat, actions that we repeat. So in this case, it's the same thing as a routine. A routine is something that we do on a daily basis, that we do every day or a lot of the time. Okay? So, of course, the routines we have here in the book are not all of them. We can have many others. Anything you are used to do in your day is a routine. For example, we can add here to the list, take a shower or brush your teeth or do your homework, for example, right? So as I said, everything that you do on a daily basis is a routine. Now, in order to talk about routines, to talk about things that we do on a daily basis, to talk about habits, we use the present simple. Okay, so if you remember present simple, let's make a quick review. When we are talking in affirmative, it's pretty simple. We only need a subject, a verb, and a complement. Just like we have here in the example. I is the subject, drive is the verb, my car is the complement, right? So, it's pretty simple. Now, remember that when we talk about I, we, you, they, nothing happens to the verb. The verb stays exactly the same. However, when we talk about he, she, or it, then we need to add an S or an ES at the end of the verb. For example, if I say I drive, I say she drives. And the same thing happens with he and it. Okay? So, this is what we saw last Saturday. Now, I would like you please to open your notebook and write activity number 1. What you're going to do is from the routine that we have in the book, you're going to choose 5 phrases and you're going to make a sentence using each one of the phrases. So at the end, you're going to have 5 sentences. Those sentences have to be in affirmative, in present simple. Okay? And all of the sentences need to have a different subject. For example, if I go to the book and I choose this one, I would say Maria drinks coffee. Maria is my subject, drinks is my verb, and coffee is my complement, right? Maria drinks coffee. So you're gonna do the same thing. From all of these phrases, you're gonna choose 5 of them, and you're gonna make one sentence with each phrase. Remember that the sentence has to be in present simple, and you have to use a different subject in each sentence. Now, once you finish with that, I want you to go please to page number 41, and let's look here at the time expressions. Now, another thing that is going to help us talk about routines or habits are the time expressions. Okay? They tell us when we do something. So for example, here we have on Sundays, we have on weekdays, on weekends, in the evening, every day, right? So they are telling us when we do something. However, these are not all the time expressions. A time expression can be anything I want. I just have to think about an action that I do, and I have to think, when do I do it? For example, imagine you go to school only Mondays and Tuesdays. So you would say Monday and Tuesday is a time expression, right? Okay, perfect. So let's go a little bit up in exercise 3, letter A. It says write yes or no questions with the information below. So basically we need to learn how to make questions, right? So it's pretty simple, but before we start, I would like to make a review of something extremely important and an important element in present simple, which is the auxiliary. As I said last Saturday, the auxiliary is extremely important because it helps us know that we are talking, in this case, in present simple. And the auxiliary is used when we talk in negative or when we ask questions. You cannot make a question in present simple without the auxiliary. You always have to include the auxiliary when you make a question or a negative sentence. And I would like to remind you the 2 auxiliaries that we have in present simple. We have the auxiliary do, and we have the auxiliary does. Now, what is the difference between do and does? How do we know which one you are going to use? Well, do is used when we're talking about I, we, they, or you. And does is used when we're talking about he, she, or it. Okay? Perfect. Now, in this case, the type of questions that we're going to learn how to do are the yes or no questions. Remember that these types of questions are the ones that can be answered simply by saying yes or by saying no. Okay? And the structure is pretty simple. The only thing we need to do is change the order of these 2. So we have first the auxiliary, then the subject, then the verb, and at the very end, the complement. Okay, so the only thing I did, the structure here is exactly the same. The only thing I did is add the auxiliary at the very beginning. So for example, I will say, do I drive my car? Or does she drive my car? Pretty simple, right? Okay, perfect. So, I would like you to please go to page 41, exercise 3. Letter A, it says write yes or no questions with the information below. So number 1, we have between parentheses, you get up and 7. If we analyze it, you is a subject. Get up is my verb. and 7 would be my complement. So the only thing I need to do is analyze which is the correct auxiliary to use for a question. In this case, if I am talking about you, then we go back here and it says if you talk about you use do. So I would say, do you get up at 7, right? Perfect. Now if we go to number 3, we have it between parentheses. Your teacher drink coffee in class. Just the same, we have the subject, which is your teacher, we have the verb, and we have the complement, right? So what do we need to do? We need to analyze which auxiliary we are going to use with your teacher. So your teacher can actually be he if he is a man, or she if she is a woman. So with he or she, we use does. Therefore, I will come up here and write, does your teacher drink coffee in class? Okay, so you're gonna do the same thing with number 2, 4, 5, and 6. Once you finish with this, you're gonna go to your notebook, okay? And you're gonna write activity number 2. Activity number 2. And you are going to answer these 6 questions with your own information, okay? The answer has to be written in present simple. It can be either positive or negative, whatever you want, but it has to be written in present simple. For example, like the one we have here. The question is, do you get up at 7? The answer is no, I don't. I get up at 6 on weekends and at 9:30 on the weekends. Okay, so that is what you're gonna do. With these 6 sentences, you are gonna write in your notebook the answer to these sentences. It can be in affirmative or it can be in negative. Okay? Perfect. And now once you're done with that, you're gonna go to page 42. We have here a reading. It says in letter B, read the message board. Whose favorite day is on the weekend? And then we have this little text, and at the very end we have letter C. Read the message board again. What's each person's favorite day and why? So what you're gonna have to do is read this text that we have here, and then you're gonna go to letter C and you're gonna answer this chart saying what is Trish's favorite day and why, what is Jason Fan's favorite day and why, Ricardo's favorite day and why, etc. Okay? Perfect.